So in this video, we're going to talk about the Lewis structure of the ammonium ion, right? So the ammonium ion is NH4 plus, right? So let's talk about how we come up with the Lewis structure, right? So if you've not viewed my previous video, I've made some videos about how we come up with the actual valence electrons for each atom, right? Or for each element. So if you're kind of confused on that part, just go ahead and view the previous videos that I've posted, right? So what I like to do is I like to draw or like to place my individual atoms, right? So I have one nitrogen atom, I have 4 hydrogen atoms, right? So those are the 2 atoms in my molecular formula, right? Now, how many valences? I'm going to look at the periodic table. I'm going to say, okay, well, nitrogen has 5 valence electrons, right? And we're also going to look on the left side of the periodic table and see hydrogen in column 1, and that's going to give me 1 valence electron. Now here's a critical thing. In chemistry, when you see a positive charge on the molecular formula, that means that the molecular formula as a whole has lost 1 electron. So it has lost 1 electrons. So whatever total electron count I get, I should subtract 1. Right, if the charge here was +2, that means I would have I would have lost 2 electrons. But in this case, it's plus, so we get to assume that's +1, right? So let's count our total electrons now. So we have 5 electrons from nitrogen, 4 electrons from hydrogen, right? So this is pretty much 1 times 4, which is 4, and then plus the 5 that we have from nitrogen. So we have total, right? We have a total 9 electrons, but remember, we still have to factor in that 1 that we lost. So this is 9 electron minus 1 electron for a total of 8 electrons. So this is what we get worried about placing. Again, in most molecular compounds, the central atom is usually usually element atom to the left in the molecular formula. So we're going to place our nitrogen, and then we're simply going to place our hydrogens around the nitrogen. Right? Now remember, we have 8 electrons to place, so we could form our bonds now. We could eventually form our bonds now, right? Now remember, I'm going to form a single bond between each of these, and I'm going to show you why. Right? Remember that in a molecular formula, the compound, the nitrogen atoms like nitrogen, hydrogen, atoms like elements like nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, etc., those have to satisfy the octet rule. So when I look at how many electrons I have around nitrogen right now, it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Right? Remember, each single bond consists of 2 electrons. In this case, I have 1 from the nitrogen and 1 from the hydrogen. They're sharing, right? So all I did was just form a single bond prematurely. And I did the same thing here, the same thing here, and the same thing here. So if I look at nitrogen octet, it is 2, 4, 6, 8, right? And thus far, I've actually used up the 8 electrons that we counted in total, right? So the only thing left for me to do is put my ion in bracket and add my charge. And that would be the formula for NH3+.